Cancer is one of the biggest killers of mankind at this time. Even after over half a century of using this approach, there is still no way in sight of controlling this disease, let alone preventing it. Angelina Jolie, this American actress, announced a couple of weeks ago in the New York Times that she had a particular gene that gave her a higher risk than normal of breast cancer. So what she did, she decided to have surgery to remove her breasts. Is this the very best that science and medicine can offer us? Is this something we should be celebrating, in fact? Essentially, to all intents and purposes, multinational corporations have now taken the human genome for profit. In our foundation, we call this the business with disease. These diseases originate when your cells are sick, and sick cells make sick organs. Micronutrients are essential biological fuel for the body's cells, and the research that our scientists are doing suggests that deficiencies of these micronutrients is the most important cause of cellular malfunction. And high cholesterol is not the cause of heart disease, but the consequence of it. Preventing heart disease involves an optimum supply of micronutrients. Dr.Rath, the founder of our foundation, has written a book about this. It's called Why Animals Don't Get Heart Attacks, but People Do. And you can find it on this website. Cancer need no longer be a death sentence. The evidence is now so strong that the medical systems in the future will be relying on these types of approaches I'm going to describe to you next. More often than not, it's not the original tumour that kills the patient, it's the metastasis that's spreading. And the 50 studies that our researchers have had published show that key micronutrients can block this process naturally without drugs. Dr. Rath and the head of our institute research in California have produced a book about this. You can read this book for free online. It's available to download and look at. You must be wondering, I guess, by now, why you haven't heard about all of this before. So pharmaceutical companies concentrate on producing patented molecules because they can control markets with them and fetch much, much higher prices for them than they could for simple vitamins. The main reason why these biotech companies are interested in producing genetically modified foods is because they can be patented. The pharmaceutical industry is an immensely rich industry. For the last year that figures are available, 2011, its total global sales were worth $956 billion US. If any industry has a model that produces those sort of sales, why is it going to change? Why would any drug company want to produce a pill that cured a disease when repeat customers who have to take a pill daily for the rest of their lives are more profitable? It turns out that if we are looking for the origins of the cancer business, there are things that happened at Auschwitz that we need to understand. When you go to this place, whether you know about this history or not, it's one of the most shocking places you can ever visit. But I will mention this, that the origins of this thing we call the European Union are also not what we've been told. The Nuremberg documents and others that we've recovered tell a very different story about the origins of the EU. We have a book online, you can download the chapters for free to read more about it. So a big part of what our foundation involves itself in is education. We believe that essentially we are all our best teachers. If we can start by educating ourselves about this, we can make a good start. We have a website, what's called bodyxq.org. The campaign that we've built around the educational process here is called Our Cancer-Free World. I talked earlier about the work that our foundation does with survivors of Auschwitz. You can read what the call for a Europe for the people, by the people, online on this website. They say that the answer to this has to be what we call a movement of life, a world that puts and respects human life before everything else.